So rich morons just went to space, and the entire planet hates and mocks them. Let me just say, I'm on the side of the angry people. I'm on the side of the angry planet. I'm on the side of those who want to have another French Revolution. Only this time, let's make it global. I'm all for it. And not only am I for it, I happen to think this is a very natural process of organic societal growth. You know, the pattern is the same as everywhere in nature. You've got too much fat in your skin, so in the end, it forms a zit, and the zit pops. Or the inner layers of the earth sometimes boil over, and a volcano erupts to let out the pressure. A planetary zit, if you will. And it's the same with human history and society. It comes in waves across the centuries. There's a larger part of society who lives at the bottom, and then there's a few leeches on top, who feed off the masses so much, and become so delusional in their comfort, and acting with such ridiculous and blind arrogance, because they can't fathom the idea they're not invincible, which, of course, as we all know, they aren't. And it will boil over, like the zit on your skin, or like Vesuvius. They will get trampled eventually, and it's just a matter of when. It's just a question of at what point in time the masses will have enough. And this time, it won't be like previous times in history. This time, the wave will be much bigger because of the internet. Globalization is gradually erasing the concept of political borders, and the people are gradually realizing that divisions between so-called cultures are not some pillars of tradition that must be kept at all costs. They're just geographical accidents that occurred throughout history and that now have played their part and lost their purpose in the face of the globalizing realization that before any kind of citizenship or folk culture or language, we are first and foremost human. And as humans, we're all one and the same, and we're the strongest when our species acts as one, instead of engaging in ridiculous infighting due to political and cultural differences. We're all humans, and in modern times, that's the only truly relevant characteristic we'll identify with. And I'm sure in a maybe not so far off future, even that characteristic might become obsolete, but for the moment, we're brought together by the concept of our shared humanity. And also in the face of this modern globalized sense of humanity among the people, when you get the planetary zit personified by these people, the revolution that this will incur will completely dwarf the insanity of the French Revolution in terms of its scale. You've read about what the French did, right? And that's just one country boiling over. Imagine the scale of a revolution when it's a whole planet boiling over. And it's also immensely funny how they went to space to observe the planet from high up. Like, take a look at this, Katie. Have a good look at what's about to blow up against you. And maybe I'm overly exaggerating in my reaction, thinking too much will happen, when in reality people are mostly too passive and emotionally neutered and will only rant online. Maybe that's the case for now, I don't know. But historically speaking, the wave is obviously coming. One of many repetitive historical waves of society boiling over and dealing with a problem eventually. And now here comes my own problem with the entire situation. My own sin, when it comes not just to this, but many other things in life. My sin is that, just like these societal leeches live in their own bubble, I myself am insulated in my own bubble. And my bubble is very different. I am not rich or whatever, nor am I nihilistic. Actually, far from it. I think nihilism is one of the stupidest things you can come to. My bubble is an insulation in the sense that I have been burned and scarred by the bigger picture. Meaning, when it comes to my hobbies and intellectual pursuits, I'm a history nerd, an astronomy nerd, a philosophy nerd. One week I'll be reading about black holes and cosmic phenomena that span across eons of time. The other week I'll be reading about something like the historical transition between antiquity and the Middle Ages. Then the week after I'll be researching about the psychological features of art across the centuries, and so on and so forth. So the stuff that I delve into never kind of falls into the same constraints of just one particular year or age. And my brain has become somewhat desensitized to the perception of time as most people have it. Like someone might say the year 2001 was long ago, and oh my god, how can you even watch movies from the 1930s? These are so ancient. And to that I say, I somewhat perceive the 1930s as if they happened fucking yesterday, and 2001 was like a fraction of a second ago. And in this sense, when people start boiling over, say, current governments, or get fired up about a particular party or politician, or start going down the rabbit hole about some stupid crap that a celebrity did or whatever, or get into the newest internet trends, or get hyped about the latest fucking phone you can buy, when I hear about all of these things, it's like a mosquito telling me about a bug on its testicle. It seems small, it seems momentary, and ultimately, it seems unimportant. I see it like a big assembly line of tiny stuff passing in front of me. Oh, a shitty politician. He you'll die or be replaced. Oh, a war. People will always have wars. Human rights fights. Some part of the population will always be oppressed and have to fight. That's how people are. And oh, there's giant wealth inequality. That will get fixed too. And it will all happen whether I do something about it or not. Absolutely nothing depends on me. And the logical argument against that will be, well, if everyone thought like you, then nothing would ever get fixed. And yes, I agree. This is, as I said, my own bubble. My own sin. I can honestly say that I felt guilty about that many times in my life. And sometimes I have tried to take part and feel like I'm responsible for something. However, every single time I've tried it, it's turned out in the end that my actions did not matter. And every single time I felt either disappointment or plain indifference to it. The waves of history and the hurricanes of time sweep past me and past you, one way or the other. I guess what I'm saying is, I don't feel my indifference is a problem as long as everyone else acts in some way, which makes me a bit of an asshole, but I never claimed I was perfect. Maybe if nobody did anything, I'd feel compelled to rise up myself. But the good news for me is that 90% of people will always be reactionary, and while that's true, I prefer to just stay on the bank of the booming river and watch, instead of jumping into the stream for what would ultimately be a big nothing in the big scheme of things. People will rebel, governments will fall, and Katy Perry's head will compete with the vacuum of open space as to which of the two is emptier. And I couldn't care less about any of it.